Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate, or I go by AlwaysMoreSims here on YouTube, and today we're building a house. Whoa, shocker. Yeah, we're building a house. This house is called Sagewood Sonata, and it was actually built with the first generation of my Sims challenge that I made in mind. So if you do not know, I recently celebrated my 10-year anniversary here on YouTube, just a little over a week ago. And to celebrate, I released my own Sims 3 challenge based on the old Barbie movies, because I am a nostalgic person to my core, and I am a comfort rewatcher, and I don't know. I have like a very big attachment to like movies and shows that I loved as a kid. And the Barbie movies is one of them. So I made a 22, 23, something like that long generation challenge. And each generation is inspired by a different Barbie movie. And I mean, it goes in release order. Which means that our first one is Barbie and the Nutcracker. So I built this house as like kind of the starting home. It's not a starter home. Don't get this confused. It is not a starter home. But like the home that like you could start in for the beginning of the challenge. You start with Clara as a child, and following the movie, she's supposed to live with her grandfather, or like a guardian figure to represent grandfather Drosselmeyer. And then she's also supposed to have a younger brother, but really my main concern was that you at least had Clara and you had Grandpa. And I built this house to have 3 bedrooms. There's a master bedroom, and then there's Clara's bedroom, and then Clara has a younger brother named Tommy, so there's Tommy's bedroom. And they have a Jack and Jill bathroom in between their bedrooms. There is laundry. And there's like a formal living room, office type area. And then like a main living area. And yeah, so I built this house for, like, again, with the intention of this is where you could start the challenge. So I do also want to preface, I have absolutely no idea what I was doing here. I have never built a Victorian house. I am not very familiar with the style of Victorian houses. And while I am aware that the movie takes place in older times, I'm not playing, like, I'm not planning this challenge to be played as if, like, you know, your sim has no access to technology and, you know, cars don't like, I'm not trying to, like, put it into, like, the olden times. Like, I'm fully aware that, you know, most simmers are going to play this in, you know, just modern times, I guess. I don't know, just, you know, as the world is. So I was trying to kind of attack this house as maybe, you know, someone bought the house. It is still a Victorian styled home, but has been kind of remodeled, revamped to be a little more modern. So there's still like the paneling on the walls. I still try to use like some older looking, classier looking furniture, but like the appliances are new. Like there's modern plumbing. But I did try to give the house kind of an older look. I don't know. I don't know that I accomplished what I was trying to accomplish. Again, I have no idea what I was doing. And whenever I was looking up pictures, trying to get inspiration, like it was very ornate and very elegant and very fancy. And I was like, okay, either one, I have no idea what I could use in The Sims 3 to kind of replicate that look. And two, I don't know that I personally would want to play in a house that looked like that. So I tried to have kind of like a Victorian inspired design style, but I'm also fully aware that it's not fully a Victorian style home on the inside. And again, I'm not super familiar with that interior design style. So like, if you are like a huge fan of Victorian design, you might look at this and be like, oh my god, this is a hot mess. Kate had no idea what she was doing. And you'd be correct. I had no idea what I was doing. I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I felt pretty good building the shell of the house and the outside and everything like that. And then it came time to start putting the paneling up on the walls, and I lost like all mojo. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. So, yeah, I tried my best. I don't know if I succeeded. But yeah, so then kind of going back to the actual challenge. So again, our sim Clara has an imaginary friend. Yay. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. So she has an imaginary friend that's supposed to represent the Nutcracker, and then she's supposed to master, I don't think you have to master the logic skill, but like she has to get pretty high with the potion making table to make the potion turn her imaginary friend into a real boy. So that means we're gonna have to entertain the imaginary friend. And I know I did it to myself. Okay, again, I made the challenge, but I'm like, nothing else would make sense to do it, like, if I didn't do it this way. But, like, at the same time, I'm like, I really don't want to deal with the imaginary friend. I don't like imaginary friends in The Sims 3 or The Sims 4. I'm not really a fan of them in either game. But we will make do. Also, it doesn't help that I do everything in the dark, and I even as I'm building, I'm like, it is not helpful for me to be doing this in the dark right now, and I still continue to furnish and do whatever in the dark, and I'm aware it's not helpful to anybody. So then I was like, oh, I should put in the windows. It'll bring in some natural light, because if you saw, I started to do the paneling, and I have no idea what I'm doing on the paneling, and so I was like, I don't want to do the paneling right now. Windows. Let's do the windows. And that's what I did. And yeah, so anyways, so Clara will have to work with the potions table. Now, I couldn't get the potions table to fit in her bedroom, and so it's sitting out in the hallway. You will eventually see. And then she also will work with the ballet bar, which is store content. So you will need the store content, or find your own way to get the store content, if you catch my drift, in order for it to, for you to be able to have that. Because, I mean, the Nutcracker, it's a ballet. She needs to be able to do ballet. So, yeah, I don't think I used any custom content in this house. I think there might have been a couple of store content pieces I might have used. I did kind of approach it as, well, I'm going to put in whatever fits. If it fits, it sits. If it fits, it stays. So, yeah. This was me trying to find something else to watch. I was watching the Barbie movies while I was building this. So I watched Nutcracker. I watched Swan Lake. I watched 12 Dancing Princesses, my all-time favorite. And then I also watched Pearl Princess, which is actually another one of my all-time favorites. And, even while I was watching Nutcracker, I'm watching this movie. I have it playing, and I'm like, this is such a cute movie. It is such a good movie. But I didn't rank it very high. It's, in the middle of my list. And, I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should have ranked this one higher. But then, after I finished watching it, I'm like, well, I don't really want to watch it again. So, maybe where I have it is probably good. However, Swan Lake. I rewatched Swan Lake for the first time in a while. And I was kind of second guessing my rating of Swan Lake, because Swan Lake, I think I put it in a B tier, but I've actually, since rewatching it the other night while I was building this, I've gone back and rewatched it a couple more times. I just love Odette in Swan Lake. I love her swan dress. Like, if I could have any dress from any of the Barbie movies, that would probably be my pick, is her, and like when it's like full length, not when they shorten it for the ballet dancing, but like the full length Swan Lake dress. I think that would be the one I'd want. And, yeah. So, I don't know. I've gone back and rewatched it a couple of times. I really do like her and Daniel. I think they're one of the cuter Barbie couples. Also, quick note, just seeing that I've placed that fireplace, I don't know if that affects the bathroom above. Even though I've technically deleted the actual backing of the fireplace, because it was going through the floor, there is a potential there that the game still recognizes the fact that this fireplace is there, even if I've deleted the debug item that was like the placeholder. So I don't know. I do intend to playtest this house. I just have not had the chance to do so yet. So if that is an issue, I will put something down in the comments about it, or in the description. I'll have it posted somewhere that, hey, just so you know, this is an issue. I don't know how I will fix that if it is an issue, so I'm kind of crossing my fingers and hoping and praying that it's not a problem. But yeah, so anyways, I just love Barbie movies. I think it's part of my anxiety has been kind of at an all-time high lately. But I think like the comfort of like knowing what's coming, I think it's like a anxiety thing for loving to rewatch things so much from my childhood. Like they bring me a lot of comfort. I just realized I'm not wearing my George necklace. Oh no. I went to Zumba this morning. That's why I don't have it on, and I forgot to put it back on when I got home. I haven't done Zumba in forever. The last time I did Zumba, I think I was like 12, maybe younger. And it was with my mom, because my mom was on like a health kick. Anyways, I don't know. It was not very... I mean, it was a good workout, but the girls running it, I don't think knew what they were doing. I think they're high school palmers. And nothing against being a high school palmer, but they were treating it like we were doing like a palm practice, but they were making it up as they were going, so it was not a smooth process at all. And I was thinking it was going to be like an hour long, and it was only 30 minutes. I don't know. I was not very impressed. But anyways, what was I saying? I don't know. I keep getting off track. Oh, my anxiety. It's been bad. Oh my gosh. It has been so bad. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. And then I've also been like ridiculously tired, like no energy, and I don't normally get the best sleep. But like this past week, I've actually been sleeping pretty well, better than I typically do, but I've been waking up even more exhausted, and like I'm practically falling asleep at work. It has not been good. It has been really, really rough. And if it actually continues into this week, I will be going to see my doctor about it, because it's not good. Like I'm actually feeling pretty good today. I don't know how I would have felt yesterday. So Moose got out of my yard. My yard is fenced in. And I know that this is probably going to come across as me sounding like a neglectful pet owner, and that's definitely not what I want anyone to think, because I absolutely love my animals with like all of my being. But Moose has destroyed so many collars when they are left on him, because he just doesn't like them, that I've stopped putting them on him unless I plan to leave the house. So like he gets really excited when I put his collar on because he associates that with leaving the house, because Moose like loves to leave the house. He loves to go for rides and go for walks and all this stuff. Okay, he's asleep. I wasn't sure if that wasn't gonna wake him up and get him excited, but I mean, he goes outside and he's part greyhound, so he's really tall and he's very athletic, and he was jumping our fence, and my dad has gone out and repaired the fence I don't know how many times to keep him from going up and over. Well, our other dog, Brinkley, is a digger, and he's been digging at our fence line, and now Moose has started to go under the fence. And so my dad keeps going out and trying to fix the holes. Well, it's been raining pretty much all week for us. And what I think happened is one of the holes, like the brick that my dad had blocking it, like kind of slid with the mud and the rain and gave Moose enough of an opening to get out. So yesterday morning, I get myself around in the mornings, I feed the dogs, and then I let them out to go to the bathroom. And he hasn't gotten out in a couple of weeks. So, like, when he gets out, it's one of those things that, like, he cannot go out unsupervised. Myself or my dad will go stand out on either our back deck, or we'll look out our kitchen window because we can see out in the yard from there. And we will watch him do his business, and then he has to come back in. And, like, he'll do fine for a couple of weeks, and so then we start to kind of let up on keeping an eye on him, and then he finds a new way out, and we have to repeat the process. And it used to be that he was really good about coming back when we called for him, and his recall has gotten worse and worse. Like, now he doesn't want to come back. He'll look at you, basically give you the middle finger, and run in the opposite direction. And we live right next to a busy street, so again, he hasn't gotten out for about a month, and so, like, we're no longer watching him when he goes out. We thought we'd fixed where he was getting out, and I was getting my lunch put together for the week, and I saw my corgis and then our golden, Brinkley, at the back door. And so I went over to let them in, and Moose likes to stand at the edge of our deck and just kind of like survey his domain, so I was figuring that's where he was, since he wasn't at the back door with the rest of them. Well, he was not. Like, I went out on the deck, I was calling for him, he wasn't coming. I couldn't see him, kind of tucked into any corner, being nosy, so he had gotten out somewhere. Again, I think he went under, and he wasn't coming. And he wasn't coming, and he wasn't coming, and so when it gets like that, normally I'll hop in the car and I'll start driving around the neighborhood. And he's normally within, like, a block of the house. Well, yesterday it started to thunder in the distance, and Moose gets very freaked out by thunder. And then it started to pour rain. And I, like, lost my mind. I'm, like, freaking out. Because, like, I know how he gets with thunder. My hope was that he had hunkered down somewhere to wait it out, but my fear was, and what ended up being the reality, he had tried to run away from it. So he went outside about 6:30. I realized he wasn't out there about 6:40. So that's when I started looking. And like, I'm sobbing, I'm freaking out, I cannot find him, he is not coming. Like, now my dad is out driving around, we are looking for him, and we keep, like, expanding our search, and I'm just terrified that I'm going to find him run over in this busy road that we live by. So we keep expanding our search, and it's been an hour now that I've been looking, and I told myself if it gets to 8 o'clock and I haven't found him, I am calling out of work for the day. I will not be going in. My dog is more important than my job. He comes first, and I started driving east up this really busy road, and I see him up ahead running west. And again, it's just pouring rain. He's right next to the busy road, but thankfully someone coming westbound was kind of trailing him and had their hazards going. And so, like, that made me feel a bit better that, you know, these people weren't looking and weren't gonna like hit him. Like someone was paying attention. So I got him, brought him home. Like my God, I swear it took 10 years off my life. He has a new collar coming, and it's actually already here, an Apple AirTag, and it's just to the point I'm like, I don't care how many collars you destroy, you are now permanently wearing a collar. He is microchipped, but I don't know, like, and the thing is, I don't handle adrenaline well. It's something I've talked about on my gaming channel. It's one of the reasons why I don't tend to play like super intense horror games, because I don't handle adrenaline. I get extremely shaky. I do not handle that crash well. I have a hard time getting my heart rate to slow down. I get really out of breath. I have a hard time catching my breath. So I'm hyperventilating. Again, I'm shaky. I'm clammy. And it just takes me way too long to come down from that spike of adrenaline. So I got him home. He goes in a kennel during the day while I'm at work. So I took him downstairs to the kennel, and I left for work. And it's just, I mean, I'm still shaking. I still am trying to catch my breath. Probably shouldn't have been driving, to be honest. My vision was swimming a little bit. It took me so long to calm down. It took me maybe 2 hours after finding him to finally, feel myself even out. I had a really bad headache. It was really bad. And again, I'm sure this probably makes me sound like an awful pet parent, because there surely are, there's more things that I could do. I've started Brinkley in obedience training. He's just so friendly, but he's so strong, and he doesn't listen very well, but he's a puppy. He's a year and 3 months, but I felt it would do him good, and his trainer is the same one who did Moose's training, because Moose went to training about 1.5 years ago. So I was telling her all about Moose. She knows Moose. She knows what he's like, and she was like, well, Kate, maybe you just need to get him. I don't like shock collars, but pretty much set up an electric fence and put that outside of your fence, and so if he tries to get out of your fence, I don't love the idea of the dog getting shocked, and there are people that are gonna be like, yeah, well, it doesn't really hurt them, it's a very small shock, and I know that, I understand the logistics and everything, and I've never loved the idea of shock collars. I don't know. So there's that. That definitely did not help the anxiety, because I had going in my head, again, I was getting to the point I was convinced I was going to find my dog dead, and I don't know what I would have done if that had been the case, especially having lost George not even 2 months ago. Because George was my girl and Moose is my boy, so I don't even know. I try really hard not to think about that. I'm very lucky I found him. He's safe. He's not hurt. He's not injured in any way. He didn't want to get out of the car when I found him, because he got right back up in the back of my car. He shook, which made my car a disgusting mess, because he flung dirty water everywhere, and I don't know about you guys, but I hate having a messy car. I do not like it. I want my car to basically be in pristine condition all the time. But he made a mess, and I haven't I haven't cleaned it up yet, but yeah, I don't know. And then we got home, and he didn't want to get out of the car. So I don't know, that work has been, I've been very overwhelmed, very stressed, very anxious about pretty much everything. And then something actually happened at work yesterday, which I will not be talking about. But it's pretty much cemented for me that I need to get out of what I am doing. And yeah. And so then there's kind of that anxiety hanging over me now of the unknown. I don't handle the unknown very well. So I am so anxious. I'm so anxious all of the time. I think I'm probably going to need to get on some sort of medicine for it, to be honest. And I really don't want to, because I don't like the idea of being dependent on a medicine. That, like, should something happen where I don't have it, like, I can't manage without it, is, like, a big fear of mine. But at the same time, like, if I don't have to be overthinking, stressed out, just anxious all the time, I would like to give that a shot, because that's pretty much how I live at this point. It's just in a nonstop state of anxiety, anxious mess. So yeah, whoo boy, this whole speed build's taken a 180. Yeah. What else? What else is there to talk about? I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know what else to talk about. This is a long speed build. This house took me 3 hours to build. And I have this sped up faster than I would typically want it sped up to. But I really didn't want to break this into 2 parts, because then I didn't feel like it was broken up very evenly. So I left it, but it's a longer speed build. I used a lot of supernatural stuff in it. I don't usually use supernatural things. Also, yes, the counters are green. I do feel like that is kind of becoming a common thing in, like, renovation, remodeling type homes, that like you make the counters like a solid color. I don't know, I kind of like it, but at the same time I don't know if I like it. So I don't know. Tommy does have a smaller bedroom. So the one that's currently to the right, if you look right now it's at the top. That is kind of a funky shaped room. Originally, I did have it a bit bigger, and it was going a tile out over the carport, but then there's a fireplace down in the living room, and it was cutting through the floor, and I really liked how it looked from the outside, because the fireplace actually kind of juts out into the carport, but then it was visible through the floor in Tommy's room, so I just moved the room back in a tile, which again makes it a bit smaller. I had them a bit more evenly sized. Now Tommy's room had a bit more kind of odd bump in and bump out shapes, but they were a little closer in size. But now Tommy's room is much smaller. His room is also my least favorite that I decorated out of the whole house. Not a fan. I was trying to look at pictures for inspiration, and if you keep seeing me pause, it's because I was flipping through pictures. And I just wasn't finding anything I liked, and a lot of the furniture that did go with it, like, that's one of the cheapest beds in the game right there. So, like, my sim is always going to be complaining about sleeping on cheap furniture. I wasn't really finding anything that I liked. And again, his room is very oddly shaped, so, like, that was another challenge. And I just, again, it's very apparent. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue how to furnish this house. And it really shows. I just don't know what I'm doing. I tried to give him some kind of, like, older toys. So, like, the rocking horse. I saw a couple of those in different pictures, like the older toy chest. And again, both of those items are from Supernatural. So yeah, it's kind of a mix of, like, the bedrooms, I feel like, do have some of the older look to them. Not as modernized as the downstairs kind of is. Yeah, those 2 things are both store content. So I don't use a lot of it, but every once in a while. But I don't know. I was just kind of winging it. I was like, sure, we'll go with that. Sure, we'll go with that. Yep, sure. Is how I kind of approached a lot of things here. Yep, sure. Yeah, and then Clara's bedroom is a bit better. This is her bedroom. I was a little more adventurous with her room. Like, she's gonna have floral wallpaper, and then I don't think I have ever, and I mean ever, in the, like, 14 years I've been playing The Sims 3, I think it was, like, it's been 12 years. No? I started playing The Sims 3 it was right around the time Into the Future came out, which was, 2013? So, I mean, yeah, 13-ish years. Anyways, I don't think I've ever used that bed. Ever. The headboard is very headstone-ish. But I didn't really like the other beds. And that was kind of the issue I ran into with Tommy's room. Like, because a lot of the pictures are showing beds with, like, spindles on them. But there was either, like, the unicorn bed from Pets or the base game one that had flowers in the headboard. And I'm like, Tommy would not have flowers on his headboard. So I was like, okay, I'll just use one of those for Clara. But again, they were cheap beds, which means that she would have been complaining about sleeping on cheap furniture. And with her being my main sim, I was like, I really don't want to do that. So, yeah. And there's her walls. So I kept kind of, like, the fun accent color for, like, it's not a baseboard. The baseboard's all the way at the bottom. But, like, for that lower portion of the wall, I kept kind of a greenish color. So her bedroom is very pink and green. And then there's, like, hints thrown in of that deeper purple that is on her wall. So kind of like a pink, green, purple theme. And yeah, I actually put curtains in this house. I never use curtains. Or if I do, I remember them for, like, one room and then forget that I'm doing curtains. And I put them away. Oh, yes, and then Clara also will have to master the painting skill. So I put in an easel because that also did not fit in her room. So there's her skill stuff that she will have to work on. So ballet, painting, and the science table are her 3 things. So, yeah. I also do not have screenshots of this house because of the way that I built it. So to try and prevent lag, I opened, like, a completely new world and built this house. It is on a 30 by 30 lot. And yeah, so because sometimes I will build in the worlds that I'm already playing in, so I don't have to worry about, like, how I'm going to get my screenshots and stuff. But I didn't do that this time because I really didn't want to worry about the lag, because that is the downside to building in a world that you have households in, is that it lags, which is kind of what I run into with Sunlit Tides. But yeah, so I don't have screenshots of this house, but I am coming to the end of the video here. I'm putting just on finishing touches. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I do have my gaming channel, my Twitter, and this house will all be linked down in the description below. Feel free to check any of those things out. I would greatly appreciate it. Please do not try to take credit for this house. While it may not be perfect, I did put a lot of work and effort into it. If you end up playing the challenge, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. And yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.